Good evening, Spelunkers, and welcome to Enter the Gungeon. The Gungeon is a roguelike that came out earlier in 2016, and I have a lot of fun with it. This will serve as somewhat of a instructional LP. I've seen some people say, well, they're really interested in this game and they want to see how it works, but some of the stuff is not very well explained, and the game is a little difficult. But I'm pretty good at it, so I hopefully want to get everybody back up to my level. But before we can go too far into the Gungeon, we have to do a bit of a tutorial. So we'll talk to this guy first. What a cheery guy. So Enter the Gungeon is a roguelike, lots of random elements, no two runs pan out the same way. And I have a lot of fun with it. I'm pretty good at it. I'm not perfect, I still lose runs, but I'm fairly good. Sir Manuel here will serve as our instructor for this portion of the game, or our manual, if you will. One of the functions of this game, being more of a gunplay-focused game, is you can take cover behind things. You can kick tables to take cover behind them, though obviously being made of wood, if they take too much punishment, then, well, tables break. You can also kick other objects like these barrels, and of course, being a video game, red barrels explode. All these other ones, like these normal barrels, you can walk through them easily enough, but they will also block bullets. So if you're shooting at somebody, you want to make sure they're not behind a barrel before you open fire. The game's not exaggerating. Dodge rolling is a very large function of this game. By hitting the right mouse button on a keyboard and mouse, you can dodge, and that gives you a little bit more speed, but most importantly, while you're in midair, you are invulnerable to gunfire. In fact, you're invulnerable to most kinds of damage. You can dodge in any direction. You know, for me, being on WASD, I only have 8 cardinal directions. But it is a very important skill, and one that you will have to get pretty good at if you want to be good at if you want to make your way very far in this game. Of course, something else you can do with the dodge roll is make your way over pits, because while this game does have quite a few pitfalls, and you'll have to make your way around them. Now, here's another mechanic that will be explained to us. If you're familiar with shoot-'em-up games, blanks sort of function as your, well, bombs. They'll temporarily clear the screen of bullets, they'll do a little bit of damage, and give you some breathing room. Very, very useful. And you don't have to worry about holding on to them because they're a limited quantity. At the start of every floor, you will receive 2 blanks. You can also pick up more throughout the floor. And here's our first chest, the first of many. Behold, the savage gun-dead. Gameplay in the game is pretty simple for the most part, point and click. The pea shooter, being a semi-automatic weapon, you can hold it down and it will automatically fire out all 7 bullets for you. 7, 6. I can count. Now, one of the special features a lot of the semi-automatic guns in this game have is if you press the button faster than the gun normally shoots, you may be able to fire out faster. So, for instance, here's me just holding down the button to fire, and here's me clicking rapidly. It doesn't seem noticeable, but it can help out your DPS, which can, well, bring fights to an end quicker than they would be otherwise. Of course, as a roguelike, you will receive both active and passive items in addition to guns. And space button is all you have to do to use those. The medkit's pretty self-explanatory, and it will restore some health. This game gets some pretty large floors, so it helps you out by letting you pull off the map and then bring up teleporters. This one's not really the greatest example because this teleporter is, well, mandatory to use, but it makes sense. Also, if you see that little swirly on a teleporter you just used, you can reuse the teleporter to go back to where you just were. But of course, that's a one-way trip. So, we have two things of interest here. The first one is, this wall right here is, well, obviously fake. And on the map you'll see there's an X pointing off this way. This button right here that my cursor's on, stepping on that will bring down the wall. This other one, we don't really see anything beyond it, so we may come to that later. Those shotgun kin will sometimes explode into bullets. You know, because that's what shotguns do, obviously. Something I don't believe I mentioned is you'll notice those look like empty casings come out of the dead enemies. Casings are your currency in the game. At the end of any given room, they will all fly into you and you'll pick them up automatically, which is nice. Here we have another chest. And of course a helpful note from Sir Manuel, on how to change between guns. This one is an AK-47, which is a fairly common gun in this game, as far as tiers, I suppose, but it's also a very reliable gun. Swap between weapons, all you have to do is scroll your wheel, or you can hold down control, which will slow down time and let you spend a little more time figuring out what gun you need, because sometimes you have a lot of guns. But let's go ahead and explore this other room before we head straight north, which is where the boss lies. So there's something special in this room. You'll notice this wall to the south is cracked. Normally these won't be cracked when you see them, but because this wall is cracked, you can use a blank. It reveals a secret. A lot of times, walls will be able to get cracked under sustained gunfire in many of the rooms, but the only way to get inside them is to use a blank, or possibly something else. And we find some secret items. These gave us some armor. Now, I haven't mentioned the health bar yet. Obviously it's split up into, looks like red hearts, which are split up into half hearts each, so technically I could take 6 hits, just based on my health alone. But then I also have armor on top of it now. Armor, when you're hit, it only takes 1 hit to destroy it, but when it is destroyed, it has sort of the same effect as a blank. It will remove all bullets around you, push back enemies, and do a little damage. And this is the indicator for a boss door. And our final boss is Sir Manuel himself. It was a close thing, but we were able to defeat Sir Manuel and prove ourselves worthy of entering the Gungeon. And so we've been given our first quest, which we will begin to embark on next time when we finally enter the Gungeon.